Everybody, I'm Josh Ike. I'm a teacher at AVA, the Adult Education Virtual Academy. I teach currently an upper level form, a 4-5-6 class online. And I'm just going to talk for a very short time about clear and consistent expectations using rubrics and checklists to upfront expectations and boost self-efficacy. So you can stop sharing, Dave. I'll share now. My class uses Schoology pretty much all the time for everything that we do. And what I'm going to tell you is not anything that you can just apply to Schoology. This applies to any class, in person, online, hybrid, whatever you have. This applies to everybody. But I just wanted to show you something. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Yeah. No? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. So when I give any kind of activity or assignment to my students, I always attach that student score sheet to that page. And if you're in person, it's just putting a poster of it on the wall, just saying, this is the criteria that I'm going to be looking for, or we're going to be looking for when we check your work. And so this is just any run-of-the-mill, everyday assignment task. They have this criteria available to them so that they know exactly what I'm going to be looking for when they hand in their work. And this applies to written works, spoken work, reading comprehension, listening comprehension. So I just wanted to get that in. It's very helpful. But what I'm going to be talking about today is the idea of expectations and how you communicate that expectations to your students. Think back to when you were in school, right? And especially if you were in college and you showed up for class on a Friday and the professor said, okay, we're going to have a pop quiz, or we're going to have you're write an essay today, and make sure that you include all the information from chapter 17. And you think, wait a minute, chapter 17? When did he say we had to read chapter 17? What? Did I miss something? Surprise, and all of a sudden you're not prepared. In order to get our students on the growth mindset train and boost self-efficacy and engagement and persistence, we want to be very clear and upfront with our students about what we expect from them every step of the way. So something that I do is, my class is made up of different units. And every unit, the first thing a student sees in a unit is something like this, sort of the topic that we're going to be talking about, what they'll be learning. And this is all from the performance objectives from the LARIC outlines. It's correlated to those. And then how they are going to demonstrate mastery of learning. And it's usually a project, or it could be a task or something. And I also tell them how they're going to produce that project or task. So right away, from the first moment of the unit, they know exactly what I'm going to teach them, and they know exactly how I'm going to expect them to demonstrate their learning of that material. This is not 100% in detail. It just gives them sort of a general idea of how they're going to demonstrate their mastery of learning. So from day one, they know, okay, this is what I'm going to learn this unit, and this is what I'm going to have to produce. Oh, crap, I cannot miss class this week. There's a lot of stuff I have to be here for. So that sort of boosts persistence and engagement right off the bat. And they also know exactly what we're doing, and they know exactly what I expect from them in this unit. And we haven't even started yet. And then we go through the unit, we go through all the lessons, they build those skills, they build that language. And we come to the end of the unit, and it's time for them to produce something to demonstrate that they've learned. It might be a writing project, it might be a speaking project, it might be a reading comprehension project, or a listening, whatever it is. I'm going to ask them to show that they have learned and acquired that learning. So there's always instructions, and then I always include a checklist of my expectations. Here's a checklist about what we'll be listening for. This unit, by the way, is they were going to record a speech about what they believe. So I ask questions, right? Before they record, are each of your beliefs clear? Are the quotes that you chose for each related to that belief? Do you explain how the quote is related? Blah, 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 blah. If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, well, then they should sort of figure out why not. Maybe try and do a little corrective measures, maybe ask for help. Go back, maybe look at the lessons. And once every answer is yes, they can record and they can produce that product. What I do is I create a specific rubric for that specific task or project, and I share it with them before they actually produce. And if you look at the rubric here, just as an example, one of the criteria that I'm looking for is content, that the student communicates beliefs clearly. Well, check this out. If you go back up to the checklist, it's right there. Are each of your beliefs clear? Another thing that I'm going to be listening for, that they provide quotes that are related to each belief and provide the name of the speaker. Well, if you go back up to the checklist, it's right there. My point is, everything on my rubric that I'll be checking, or sometimes the students will be checking, is exactly what's on the checklist. No surprises, no additional stuff thrown in that they didn't know about. It is exactly what I asked them to check before they actually do the task or the project. And how this helps is that the student knows exactly what's expected of them. They know that I'm not going to be checking for anything that we haven't talked about. And it sort of gives them a confidence to go ahead and produce that, or to get help if they need help with these criteria. And hopefully that allows the students to be able to gauge their progress a little bit more easily, because now they know, well, if the answer is yes to all of these, I am making progress. If the answer is no, maybe I need to get some help. And it clears the air of any questions or any mystery. And I find it very, very helpful to do this. Now, if you're an in-person class and you don't use Schoology, well, you could just make a Word document and project it on your screen, or you can write it on your whiteboard and leave it there for the whole week. And I find that when I do this, engagement goes up, grades go up, because they know exactly what I'm going to be looking for and what they're supposed to do. And learning gets boosted too, because we're not throwing everything into the bucket. You can see from this list that I'm just saying good grammar. I'm not saying perfect grammar. So they don't have to worry about mistakes. I'm just saying, are you speaking clearly? Can we understand you? I'm not saying that your diction is perfect. So they have an idea of what we're looking for, and it tends to help a lot.